Whew, all right. 7 o'clock on the dot. Want to make sure I'm coming through loud and clear. If you can hear me, please put a 1 in the chat or say hi. I should have put some earrings on. Let me see. Where's my light? Let's see. I guess that look all right. Put my light on back here for some contrast. Hey, Adasol, how are you? Been a long. I feel like it's been a long time, but I think it's been just a week. I think it's just been a week um since I haven't been on here. But I wanted to make tonight's live, the theme of tonight's live, I wanted to make it a long form video. But the way my life is set up right now, I was like, oh, it's not gonna happen. So I was like, you know what? I'll go live. I just want to post that I'm live over on the community tab. Hold on, come. Let's see. I'm come join. Oh, let's see. Okay. Let me see. Okay. All right. Let's see who else we got up in here. Hey, Jeff. Hey, Leo. I'm glad y'all was able to get on tonight. I think tonight will be we'll have a good discussion. I will be dropping the link. Hey, Esty. I'll be dropping the link. I think so. I think at the end of the day, I may need a new laptop. I did have an update. Ooh, my hair's so fuzzy. I need to wash my hair. If I look like who did it and why, y'all, just pretend that I don't. But I think I figured out why that time we was live that I couldn't hear RC. I had an update on my laptop, and I think that update is what messed up my ability to hear the output. Cause like I went to Best Buy, they fixed it, but then like the very next day I had the same thing. So it's like I have to restart my laptop every time I need to listen, to YouTube or training and stuff like that. So hopefully tonight we'll be able to have that. Let's say Leo, she said, who did it? Yes, I do. Y'all just don't understand. But we're gonna get into tonight's main topic in just a minute. But you know how I do. Anytime I come live, I like to talk about wins. So if anybody have any wins, please put them, share them with us in the chat. My win, I would say I got a couple. So a week ago, my mom had back surgery. And I know some of y'all who, be over here on a regular basis might be like that. Didn't she just have another surgery in December, right? She had got her other knee replaced in December. And so she had to she had a herniated disc. So they had to repair that and fuse 2 vertebrae and all this stuff. But she's doing pretty good. The initial recovery was, I think she thought she was gonna be able to just jump up and run a marathon, but now she kind of realized like, oh, I do have to take it easy and stuff like that. So So that's one win that, hopefully God willing, that's it. My mom worked 30 years on the assembly line for an automotive company, and it has done a number on her, muscles and bones and stuff. So I'm like, I hope you don't fall, because the only other thing they can fix is your hips. Because they didn't fix everything. Um, so yeah. Um, that's one win. The second win is, I think I told y'all I decided to pick up like a 1099 contract opportunity on my MP license, and it's moving faster than I thought. So that's another reason why I couldn't get the content out the way I wanted to, because I'm like doing the trainings and things of that nature. But it's a good thing. It's bittersweet, but I'd rather be able to make this money and it be flexible, and things of that nature. So that's a win. And then something that I probably should have done probably sooner than now, but like I finally accepted that I'm gonna have to like um put my sister lock business on pause. So as much as I know my clients don't want to hear that, I'm starting to let them know. And I actually feel lighter. At some point in life, at least for me, now that I'm 50 something, I don't mind working. But you got to have some time for yourself. You got to have some time for your spouse if you got one, or your kids, or whatever. So I'm like, yeah, I'm probably not going to be able to do y'all hair past June. I am learning that instead of having a full plate, it's better to have a balanced plate, right? Even when you're talking about literal food, you know? So those are my wins, y'all. Despite looking crazy, I cannot complain. Because it ain't gonna change nothing, right? All right, Leo said, glad to hear she's doing well. Thanks, Leo. Yeah, she doing much better. She went and got her taxes done today. And, she was a little, tired, but she said overall she felt pretty good. I think she get a I think she get like the staples or whatever out the day after Easter. What's that? Next Monday. So yeah. Okay, Jeff said my win. I've been changing my diet and habits over the last month or so. Yep, you told us that last time. The weight isn't coming down initially like I hope, but my mind and body are feeling a lot better. That's good. That is really good. So you kind of plateauing at 10 pounds. Is that what you're saying? And if that is the case, Jeff, the beauty is that you're being consistent, right? You got the mindset that, hey, this is who I want to be, and things of that nature. And when you break out of that plateau, it's just gonna be like boom, 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 boom. That's what I have to tell my patients a lot of time. Some of them get so caught up, and it's like keep being consistent, keep making good food choices, exercising, all the things. Eventually, it's going to break. It will. And they be like, the ones who stick with it, they be like, oh, I'm so glad. I got a patient. She just came back from a cruise with her family. But prior to her cruise, she was four four pounds from being down 100 pounds since starting with me, and she's been with me about 15 months. So if she had given up when she was kind of stuck at like 50 pounds, she was stuck at like 50 pounds for a long time, but we made a few tweaks. She realized what she could do better, and then boom, look at her, almost down 100 pounds. And so she probably has another 25 to go to get back into the 100s. So she feeling like a new woman, you know? Um, yeah, so that's awesome. That is awesome. All right, guys. So as you saw, my discussion for tonight is if for those who don't know, It's my understanding that the Jehovah's Witnesses are having their memorial tomorrow. And if anybody on here is not familiar with the JWs and things like that, the memorial is like the witnesses, most special day. Like of all the days on the calendar, the memorial is their special day. That's when they, um, in their words, like remember the Lord's evening meal, that Last Supper that Jesus had, and things like that. And they pass the bread and the wine to symbolize his body. However, the only people who partake of that are people who have a heavenly hope. The last I recall, they still call those people anointed. And all the other people who don't partake of it are people who have like an earthly hope. Okay. And so, in all the memorials that I've been to, maybe with the exception of one, I've never seen anybody take it. I've only known one person who personally who professed to be anointed. And I just recently found out he passed, and I don't know why I didn't think I don't know why I didn't think he would have been gone from this earth, because I've been gone. It'd be 9 years this month that I've been married, so I would say I've been gone a solid 9 months. I mean, a solid 9 years. So he had to be in his 80s or mid 80s back then. So it's crazy. Uh, but rest in peace to him. He was one of the realest people. I was like, okay, he's anointed, but he's one of the realest people. I remember him telling me, he said, the less the friends know about you, the better. I remember thinking, like, dang, this somebody anointed telling me they don't need to know nothing about you. And I was like, ain't that something? Hi, Cedric. So that's what the memorial is. Um, it always kind of falls around Easter. Um, they call it nice and 14. So, based on all that, the dates will change. And, just like how Easter is, Easter ain't a set day, right? I think they determine all that with the, what is it, the spring equinox and all that stuff. Anyway, so that's what the memorial is. So I wanted to do this live uh, to discuss the basically the pros and cons of what it means to attend or not attend the memorial as someone who identifies as a former Jehovah's Witness. So, all right, Cedric already jumping in said, I'm not I'm not going to be going because I know they are wrong. Plus, I don't want to add to their numbers. I don't blame you. So I am going to drop the link. So feel free. Once I start with the questions, if you want to come up or you can stay in the chat. Remember, you do not have to show your face. And hopefully I can hear y'all. But here's my question. Okay, Jeff said he's thinking of attending. I'm so glad he came because he had wrote that earlier, and hopefully he'll share with us. Um, so my question is, either way, what's your why for possibly attending tomorrow, uh, or what's your why for not attending? So I'll go ahead and start. This is why I'm not attending. Um, I know the dangers of the memorial. Not that I have any desire to be a part of this organization again. That's how I got introduced, like hardcore, to the whole Bible study and all that stuff, because I went to a memorial. Okay. And so, having that been my, like, you know, real introduction into the indoctrination piece of it, I definitely would not go. And so my why is, I'm so far removed. I do not have any family. The 1.5 people that I consider friends, I told y'all a few months ago about the one person that, in that moment when we met up and caught up, that she not my real friend. I love her. I still love her, want the best for her, but she's not my real friend. I thought she was, but in that moment she proved to me that she wasn't. She didn't really care about catching up with me. It was how can I find out what's going on in her life to try to get her to come back to the organization. Whereas my other friend, to be honest, I really believe when her mom passes, she's gone because none of her family outside of her mom is in it. And the only reason she got in it is because of her father had passed. And of course, her mom capitalized on that. You want to see your daddy again? You know, this, and that, because the parents were divorced. So that's my why for not going. Like, and also kind of like what Cedric said, like, I don't want to contribute. It's bad enough that they count me in their global count. Okay, I'm gonna bring Jeff up. Say hello.
Hey, how are you?
I can hear you. I just want to make sure I can hear
Okay.
you.
Okay.
so so I'm kind of like Cedric too. That's another reason. Like, it's bad enough I'm counted in their global count because I refuse to send in a disassociation letter. Like, I just don't want to play their games no more. So the to go to the memorial, then it's like I'm double letting them count me. So I those are my why nots. I don't have family. I don't really have any connection to it. I've been so far removed from it. And yeah, it probably be triggering because it's like, God dog it, this how they caught me. This is how they got me at a memorial. But we have Jeff here. Thanks so much for coming up, Jeff. How you doing?
I'm
I could
doing
tell
really
in,
good. How you been?
I could tell in your face you done slim down. I could
There's
see
somebody
it.
at work said that today too.
Yeah, keep it up. Yeah, I could definitely see a difference. Um, so Jeff said he's thinking about attending, and he came up. He's gonna share with us.
Yeah, well, it's a few reasons, and I want to get feedback too, because I told a friend today earlier, an ex-witness,
Mm-hmm.
but a few reasons. So for one, I was thinking that there's a few different reasons, but the first that came to mind is like just curiosity, because you figure I was in my entire life, and the only time I've experienced a memorial was as an active believing member. So now part of me is curious to see, just as somebody who's removed from it, who left,
Mm.
to see, like, just to see how cult like it is as somebody who's not in it, who's not in the culture. You know,
Yeah.
somebody who knows the culture, who just knows the ins and outs, who stepped out, but it's like I want to go in and see what, like, just what does it look like as far as like a kind of like a cult like thing? Because I haven't been to
Mhm.
a meeting, I have no idea what it looks like now. So some of it is just like kind of curious, just as kind of on the other side, you know. Um, Another thing was like, okay, so as a witness, we have very black and white thinking.
Mhm.
And if you're a witness, you really think, okay, if somebody does X, this is why they do it, or
Mhm.
this is how we think of them. If somebody has tattoos, okay, this is why this person did it. Without knowing anything about them, you're kind of programmed to think, okay, this person has a tattoo because of this. This must be kind of what they think.
Mhm.
Um, and also, like, you know, other people that might do other religious things, but they may not have a religious motive behind it.
Mhm.
But if you're a witness, you automatically assume that this person is like an active worshiper and this thing believes, you know.
Mhm.
Well, I don't have that. If I were to go to the memorial, I'm not going thinking, oh, this is, you know, because I believe this or believe that, or even
Mhm.
because I want to. I could just go as an observance. I could just go out of curiosity. And
Mhm.
who's a witness or anybody else to tell me, oh, so you went to the memorial, so this is must be what you think. Oh, you must be thinking of going back to the meetings. Oh, you must still believe. No, I don't. So to me, it's sorry to put it this way, but it's kind of like giving the middle finger to people that think that.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
you automatically assume I'm going to think this because no, I'm there because I'm curious.
Yeah.
I'm there because it's a public event. And who are you to tell me that I must be one to go back to the meeting or I must believe this just because I'm there, you know? So that's part of it.
But
Because
you
I was
know what?
thinking,
But you know
yeah,
what? Just not to cut you off, I totally get that part. I've in these last 9 years, I've had moments, especially since starting the channel, where I have wanted to go just to see how they respond. You
uh-huh,
know, like where I know people would know me versus like the Kingdom Hall by my house where nobody would know me, right? So of course I already know what they would do. 9 times out of 10, they're gonna love bomb me because it's like, oh, it's a new person, da da da. You know, they're gonna try to.
yeah,
But I have had moments, especially since starting the channel, to go maybe almost on some petty kind of stuff, like just to see how they
yeah,
respond, so I could come back and report. But then I'll be like, nah, that's petty. Don't do that. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But like Esty just said, I think I wouldn't even be able to probably stomach the whole meeting.
And you know what? Like the friend I talked to mentioned that too, because it's like I'm at a point I cannot stomach watching a JW broadcast. I can't. I can't tolerate it. So to me, it's like I know I can. I like me personally. I know I can navigate the whole social aspect. I know I can navigate the love bombing.
Hmm.
That doesn't bother me. I already, I'm already in a space where I can handle that.
Yeah.
But what, like, if I were to go, like, man, can I really get through one of those talks? Can I
Hmm.
really do that? And like, that's one legitimate concern I have in thinking of going. It's like, can I, even like when the emblems are passed and they do the prayer and all, it's like, whatever. But can I actually handle hearing that talk in person for a half hour?
And knowing pretty much the whole thing, right? You already know what
Yes.
they're gonna say. It's just like, yeah, that's. I think I feel the same way. Like when I go and watch those like I could never watch a full. They got so many different subgroups on
Yeah.
JW.org. I don't know, but like when the last video I did about the blood update, I was like, okay, let's get to the blood part. And I think the video was only 15 minutes, but I was just like, I can't take this. I can't take all this, manna from heaven, oh, thank Jehovah for these 2 nickels, that I found on the ground while I was out preaching. It's just like, oh my God, I can't take it. It's just like, ugh. But I don't blame you. Have you or anybody else like gotten like the physical paper invitations?
No, I
It,
didn't. But no, I didn't. But what's interesting is, so there's somebody at work. There's a relatively new coworker I have who's a witness, and
mm,
I knew she was one before she knew I knew. But anyways,
mm-hmm,
like what I did, like I told, I'm a pretty straightforward person, so I told her at when she finally like told me, oh, da 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 da, I don't do such and such because I'm a witness, whatever. I told her, I said, look, like I'll tell you, it's only fair that I tell you, like I'm inactive.
mm-hmm,
Like I'm a baptized witness, but I'm not going to meetings. So I just,
mm-hmm,
because I mean, to me, it's like, that can make somebody really uneasy if they feel like you're hiding something like that. So I want to
mm-hmm,
be sensitive to that. And,
mm-hmm,
with her, I mean, she's cool anyways, but it's like, I just kind of, I kind of know what that experience is like. So I at least want to have some kind of respect. So if she decides to just like, treat me like such and such, it's on her terms without feeling like I was going behind her back. Um,
mm-hmm.
but anyways, today we were chatting and like I was like, yeah, so the memorial such and such tomorrow. And she asked if I was going. I said, if I go, I'm not going to go to the one that's nearby. Um, I might go like a couple towns over. And she told me she actually goes to a congregation that's like the next town over on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
And she actually invited me. She's like, yeah, you can come if this and that. But what I was thinking when she said that, I'm like, you know what? Because like the Kingdom Hall she goes to, I stumbled upon it by accident because it is some backwoods small out of the way New Mexico town that you would drive past if you didn't know to look for it. So I was like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, you go to that hall and blah blah blah. But to me, she invited me, so it's like I want to respect that she invited me, and it wasn't really like the weird cultish kind of way. There is a sincerity to it. Um, but it's like, I was thinking I could see myself going there if I tell her in advance. So let's say like, look, if you want to tell people that you know me from work, it's fine, but just don't tell them my background. Just tell them you know me. So
Mm-hmm.
I could handle that. Um, and it's like it's way on a part of far away where nobody's gonna know me anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, oh, the one
Mm-hmm.
person's gonna know me, but nobody else is really gonna know my situation or story. But no, I did not get an actual invitation.
Yeah.
No.
I didn't either. Um, if you don't mind sharing, Jeff, I want to say you shared this before. Um, you refer to yourself as an inactive JW versus like exJW. I think you told us that before. Or
Yeah, I mean, I have nothing. I don't go to meetings. I'm not living my
yeah,
life that would give anybody the impression I'm a witness.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, but no, part because when I first woke up and found everything out, I'm like, I really can't have my name attached to this whole thing. But then
Mm-hmm.
part of like when I thought about it, I was like, you know what, that's me kind of playing by their rules to let them know that I don't want to. For
Mm-hmm.
one.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Number two, you can tell by the way I'm living my life that it's not something I'm doing. I'm not a bad person. I'm just
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
and it's like
you're
another
not going through
thing.
the routine, the routine of things.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And another thing that I kind of thought about too is, and it kind of goes to the situation with my coworker. If somebody knows that you're disassociated,
Yeah.
like that's an instant. I'm not talking to this person.
Yes. Yeah.
But to me, if somebody is an active witness and there's a space in them where they're okay, or if they're having questions, or they're trying to get through their own stuff.
Yeah. That's
If
what
you
you
don't, if
shared
you
with
don't,
us. Yeah.
yeah, if you don't have that label, if you don't have that clear like official label,
Yeah.
there's a certain safety in having conversations with somebody, like me or you, I would say.
Yeah. You that's what I'm saying. I remember you shared, but I couldn't remember like
Okay.
the reasoning behind, and that's what it was. So that yeah. So thanks for just bringing that back to my mind. Yeah. I thought about it and then I was like, I'm done playing by their rules. This
Yeah.
is their rule. Like nobody, if any of the people who I went to the congregation, because I know they be over, I'm sure some of them then found my videos. I'm sure they be on my Facebook page. I'm sure people are still chatting about me. But I don't need to play by their rules, like they forced my hand and made me do that. Submitting a letter to the church that I was, born and
Mhm.
raised in and baptized in. And, I'm like, I'm just not gonna do it again. Like I'm
Yeah.
just not gonna do it again, you know. So if my number goes towards your global count to help you get money in these different countries and whatever, I I just can't do it
Yeah.
because, like you say, like I was never disfellowshipped. To my knowledge, I would think they would have to tell you. So I guess I'm just a person who faded and went on about their life. Um, but yeah, that's a very good point, especially working with somebody, and that shows. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes it blows my mind. You see more compassion and just mindset shifts in people who have left
Hmm.
towards JWs. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Versus JWs having that kind of compassion and mindset and openness towards the other way. It's crazy. Here you are, like, I'm still trying to be mindful of her. I don't want things to be awkward here at work,
Yeah.
but it's crazy. But
It was. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
no, go ahead.
No, no, it's just funny when we were chatting because like when I say she's like in an out of the way town, like Kingdom
Yeah,
Hall,
yeah,
it's out of the way. But I was like, I said, your Kingdom Hall's out there. Like, how y'all gonna go to Olive Garden after the memorial? Like, I was like, where's the Olive Garden? She was, she got a laugh out of that. It's like, yeah, like if
yeah,
you mention Olive Garden after the memorial, you know the culture.
yeah, exactly. Let's see. Leo said, "Why would I go to see people act fake with me when they see me, but every other day of the year they don't give me a single thought?" It's so true, Leo. It is so true.
Yeah,
Um,
but you know what? I think a lot of them don't know any better.
no, they don't.
And,
Yeah, some
and
of
like,
them don't. Yeah, some of them
and
don't. I mean, I get what he's saying.
I
I
no, I
get
get
what
it.
he's saying. He's been gone a while. I think Leo. I don't think he ever got baptized, and I think he, left home early, if I'm
Yeah,
not
but
mistaken.
like to me, I was talking to somebody I was close to very recently who's still an active witness, and the hardest part for me, it was a good conversation, like anything. It was a good conversation, but like as I'm going through it and I think about it the next morning, it was really hard listening to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, no pros. It's really hard listening to somebody brainwash themselves in real time.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was hard. And it's not that the conversation was bad or critical or anything, but I'm listening
Mm-hmm.
and I mention things or ask certain questions. Not like I'm trying to wake somebody up, but it's like just sincere, thoughtful questions.
Mm-hmm.
And the response I'm getting is like, "Wow." I used to see things that way too. I used to have that same view, but it's like, how would it be if I were going to go in there and see an entire group of people
Mm-hmm.
be that way?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
part of me is like a little curious to see. Okay, is this that was who I was, but I'm looking at it from the outside now.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, that's
Okay.
yeah,
That was good. So here's the other question, and I feel like we kind of already kind of touched upon it, but um how will it impact you? So that goes both ways. How will attending impact you versus how will not attending impact you? So like I say, in my case, I think it's, I honestly think it would do more damage to me um attending, because I think I'd be just triggered to the umpteenth, thing. Whereas, like, if my family was in it, like my mom or, like close family, I could see, I see why people I mean, you got people who ain't never been baptized. They just went with their grandma, to the hall when they went over her house, but they still be like, just to appease my granny, I'ma go, kind of thing. So I think, yeah, I think for me, like, the impact would be more emotional. Not that I want to be there, but I think it'd be triggering to me as a, as I've shared before in video. I have these moments of shame, like, how did I get duped? How did I get roped into this, as an adult convert? So
yeah,
knowing how important the memorial is seen to them, how you could be disfellowshipped or whatever they calling it now. You could have not been in the Kingdom Hall 30 years. You come to that memorial, they radar for hope go up. It's hope,
yeah,
and
yeah,
then they're gonna bug the dog snot out of you. So until, a few months, and then it'll all die down. But yeah, I feel like you kind of already answered that. But if you want to elaborate, you can. I'll drop the link. If anybody else want to come up, we can accommodate, I think, a few people.
so, and that's
Or if you want
one
to just put it in the chat, that's fine too.
and like that was something I was thinking of too. Is your experience as a convert is entirely different from mine as somebody who was born in.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like you have an entirely different point of reference before the whole witness thing.
Yep.
Whereas me, the only reference I have is strictly growing up as one, and
Mm-hmm.
then after.
Yep.
Um, so like that, that would be an interesting perspective. I'm somebody I'm very risk averse, but also I'm very open to experience. And
Yeah.
one thing that I'm curious, so like I think, for example, like in Japan, they do the whole Shinto thing, and if you go through Japan, you see shrines all over the place,
Mm-hmm.
and people go up to the shrines and like they have the whole ring the bell and wash the hands and throw the money and offer the prayer. Like everybody knows the ritual,
Okay.
but that doesn't mean that most of the people do that actually believe.
Right.
Like they
Like
just do that because that's what they do in Japan.
right.
Um,
Or just like when you see what you call them, not waterfalls, but you know how what do they call? Is they waterfalls? People toss pennies in there, make a wish, and toss the
yeah,
penny in there. Yeah,
the well,
whales, right?
yeah, or the fountain, the
Hmm.
fountain, the fountain. I know you mean the fountain, like at the
Fountains,
mall,
yeah,
like at the mall.
yeah, yeah.
Do they still
So
have those?
yeah, like Buckingham fountain here in Chicago. I'm sure it'd be having plenty of pennies in it when they turn it on.
Yeah,
Hmm.
but like I think of that where it's like there is a space where you can go just for the experience
Hmm.
without necessarily feeling that there's anything religious to it. Religion is personal.
Hmm.
Who's to say that what somebody's doing is strictly religious? Because if you're a witness, you're programmed to think that it has to be religious,
Hmm.
but it's personal. So what's wrong with the idea of doing something just for the experience? And my experience as an outsider would be completely different.
Hmm.
Also, I think about people. There's somebody I know who grew up in the Hasidic Jewish community,
Hmm.
and they left as an adult, but they still have ties to the community. That
Hmm.
doesn't necessarily mean they're practicing, but they
Yeah.
might go into the community as somebody who understands it, who gets it. But there's a certain aspect of them that's removed from it too. You know, I'm
Hmm.
I'm curious to see what that experience might be like as a witness. I'm curious. So that's part of it. But the whole love bombing thing, I don't like. I don't care about that.
Hmm. No, no, no. I think yeah, like so this whole discussion, like I when you said what you said, I was like, oh God, I hope he can get on. Because the point is not to pull people one way or another. It's to show that we can all have different viewpoints, even if we identify as XJWs, and it don't
Mhm,
make it right or wrong,
mhm,
right? Now, am I guilty? I've heard some people say, I'm going to the memorial. We didn't have, they didn't have a discussion. They just said they were going, maybe, or whatever. And I thought to myself, like, you know, like are they being drawn to come back in or whatever, and then after they went they might have shared it on their channels or in an interview, and then it's like, oh, okay, but at the end of the day, I think, like you say, it's a very individual um decision, and only you kind of know what the draw is. Like for you, it sounds like it's more curiosity, like what is it like? Like now that I am this person, what is it like to be sitting in there listening to this, watching it, and things like that. Like how you said you already would be prepared for the love bombing because you already know. Um, but yeah, I know for me, it would be hard to stomach the whole thing.
Part of me feels like what was that scene in what's that movie Get Out where the guy was like, you know what I'm talking about,
Yeah,
where he's all bug eyed. I'm like, that might be how they do
yeah,
me before I leave.
yeah. I'm sure it would feel very get out ish to me, for sure. for sure. Um, if anybody want to come up, all you have to do is click that link. Now you don't have to be on camera. Jeff doesn't mind. You don't have to be on camera. We could just hear you. So, um, next question, like who benefits? So in the past, since I've had this channel, I've seen quite a few people, like I say, they might not even get baptized, but like somebody who used to do my hair, I had found out she was raised witness because her grandma raised her. And so she didn't go to the memorial like every single year after she went away to college, then got married, had kids and stuff like that. But she would go more times than not. And she would basically say, just, basically to see that smile on her grandma's face. She was like, but she would feel a little bit guilty because she's like, it's doing nothing but giving my grandma false hope, right?
But speaking of that, so like my I have family that's still in. My dad is still in, and the only
Oh,
hope
okay.
and like the only hope he really has is what they offer at the Kingdom Hall. And to me, one of the things I lived by since I left is never take away somebody's hope. And that's one of the reasons why I don't want to be the one to wake somebody up. I mean, you have to wake up yourself, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be the person to rip somebody's hope away from them.
Mm-hmm.
So there's an element of me where it's like, and then speaking to him, I have other siblings who had left as well. But while he's still around, if the only hope he has, whether it's true or false or anything in between, um, I don't want to be the one to take that from him. Just let him have it. Let him have it.
So when you, not his, no, when I say hope, not his hope in paradise, the hope that you'll get back active.
Oh, and that's part of it too. That's part of it
Okay.
too. If he still wants to hold out hope that all of his kids are going to come back one day, not just me, but all of his kids. If he wants to
Mm-hmm.
hold on to that, I'm not. I don't want to be the one to snatch that out from him.
Mm.
Whether I know it's true or not, whether I can actually prove that it's true or not, to me doesn't matter. If that's you may have a hope about something entirely different. You might hope, okay, geez, I'm going to start this business. Maybe I know something that you don't. Where I'm like, okay, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Is it for me to just flat out say that? I mean, I could, or I can say, you know what? If she wants to hope in that, just let her have it. If she wants to figure out on her own whether it's going to happen or not, that's fine. But let me give you that space where you can hold on to that. And that's with anything.
Mm-hmm.
I
That's
mean, like a business thing is one thing, but I mean, like somebody's like it's existential, so it's on a different level. But that's
mm-hmm.
yeah. What were you
No,
gonna say?
that's kind of deep. Like I get what you're saying. So let me ask you this. Right? Yeah, I'm not one to want to just crush on people's hopes and things like that either. But because that little seed of hope, right? Let's say you was to go to the memorial where your dad attends, and then like every
Oh, it wouldn't be where
Sunday,
he attends. But go ahead.
huh?
It would not. It wouldn't be where he attends.
Okay, but that's what I'm saying. So that sounds like to me that's the balance because I think like if you had went where he attended, like I'm assuming like if he was close, let's just say I don't know where he is. So if you went, it was close, you went. I just I guess for me it's like I get exactly what you said, and I'm like, yeah, that's kind of deep. Like, the not taking away from his hope, but then that hope turns into every week, being preached to because of that hope.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Um,
Okay.
like
I see.
Leo shared, he had shared, he said, I cannot lie. Um, wait, let me see. I can't lie. Some years back, I would still go if my parents asked. But after my mom passed, I quit going just to appease somebody. And he had shared earlier that his dad, invited him, but he wasn't going. He's like, look, I'm about to be 50 years old. I just don't want to do it, you know. And I get it. I get it, you know. Um,
But you know what?
I know how I feel after experiencing being a witness and coming out of it. And then something about me turning 50, I just felt like, mm-mm.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
I'm only going on 46, so I'm not there yet. But you know what? What's interesting? So like what Leo says, I get,
Yeah.
and that you know what? To be very honest with myself and everybody else, that you know there could be an element of that with me.
Hmm.
There could be an element of that with me where you know
Hmm.
it hasn't come up since I left as far as the memorial, but this year around, like it comes up and it's like, well, hey, you know. But
Hmm.
that also goes to where witnesses think in absolutes,
Yeah.
and there's no space for nuance.
Yep.
So it's like, well, you know what? Maybe some of the reason could honestly be to appease family, but that doesn't have to be the only factor. That doesn't have
Oh,
to be the primary factor.
yeah. I totally agree. I do think though for a lot of people it is the primary,
Mm,
but then I can definitely see a good chunk coming from the perspective of you of pure curiosity. Like, what is this joint like now? You know, now that I am awake, I am aware. What is it like just out of curiosity? And like I said, I've had those moments where I'm like, man, I'm almost tempted to just go and pop up on them just to see how they respond. Like almost to see like who gonna treat me funny. Cause if they treat me funny, they let me know they seen the videos. You know, or if they just like then it's like, oh, they ain't seen the videos, you know, kind of thing. But I'm sure it didn't got circulated around. Hello, healer. Good evening. Yeah. All right, all right. Yeah. I think for a lot of people, especially getting to know people, you know, kind of off the platform, that um for many people, and I think Esty said it earlier, for those who kind of just made a hard line in the sand and they don't go to the memorial despite love for family, and things of that nature, it's just because it's too triggering and it takes them back, right? Like, I'm
yeah,
gonna be honest, I was like, what is going on? What is going on? After I did my blood update video, I just kept feeling the type of way. I personally had never been in that position. The closest I had been was when um, a dear elder that everybody loved, and I really loved him. He was like an unofficial uncle for me. Was in a really bad accident, and it was life or death. And he's paralyzed now, but he's alive. Um, but that's the closest I have been to that kind of decision, right? But I've heard horror stories and things of that nature. But watching other people, especially people who grew up, people who could say, my grandma, my granddad, I remember this young man. I don't know his channel. I don't remember, but he told his story. And this is what made him leave. He was young. I don't even think he was 20 years old. His mom had um, married another JW, got pregnant, and basically died as a result of childbirth because she wouldn't take the blood. And I mean, my heart just broke for this young man telling his story on YouTube. And he was just like, so I thought about people like that. I thought about people. And so I was kind of messed up.
but
Like
you know,
those days after that, because I'm watching people's video and things like that. So I think for me, sitting in the Kingdom Hall, it's like all the stuff would just probably, unless I was there for like somebody that passed. Like, I think that's the only way I would personally go into another Kingdom Hall, just to pay my respects, you know? But
yeah, but
depending on the
like
person.
so to me, like with my story, my mother died of terminal cancer in
Okay.
the mid 80s.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking of the whole blood thing. Like, she would have been in a situation where she would have been offered blood. Um, But if you think about it, like the way their whole rules are now, it wouldn't have helped her. Like a terminally ill cancer patient is not going to have their own blood drawn for later transfusion.
Exactly. These are
So
the things I talked about in my video.
yeah,
But
so
was it a blood cancer?
no, it was breast
Oh,
cancer, but it had by the time they found out, it spread all over her
yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah,
So it was
yeah,
too
yeah.
late.
Yeah.
Um, but to me, my the way I look at it is her situation. The whole thing that they announced would not have changed her situation at all.
Yeah.
Um, but it's like if I spoke to somebody about that. I'm like, think about that.
Mm-hmm.
All this thing that they're talking about, and like the person told me straight up, they were like, yeah, but you know what? It's always been kind of like a conscience thing. I'm like, no, no.
Somebody said that to you recently.
Yeah. They were
You
like,
know
yeah,
what's so
what's wrong with
crazy?
it?
You know what's so crazy? I don't know who it was because I was watching other people's videos to get their perspective. And quite a few people did multiple videos about that. And they said that, watch, witnesses are going to double down and say, oh, it was always a conscious matter.
And that blew my mind when they said that. I'm like, I'm gonna leave that one alone. I'm gonna leave that alone. But it's I'm curious this and it's the other thing. So this coworker that I'm telling you about, when I told her like I'm inactive, I was like I'm not like disfellowshipped or anything like that. The first thing she said was, "Oh, they don't call it disfellowship anymore; it's removed."
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I mean, out of anything you could have said, out of anything you could have said to what I told you, the
Mm-hmm.
first thing you do is clarify the word.
Mm-hmm.
And are you stopping to think that the practice is exactly the same? No. So
Mm-hmm.
part of me, I mean, I know I'm kind of, I know I can get in it. Basically, my expectations, if I were to go, is very, very low. One of the things I learned as you grow older, like when you're young, you have all these high expectations. The older you get, like you keep
Mm-hmm.
those things in the basement, so you're not disappointed. But so to me, it's like if I were going to go, my expectations are already low. It's like I'm not expecting somebody to wake up. I'm not expecting somebody to just suddenly see the light at the memorial. But it's like, just what would it look? What would it look like to see a whole community of people like me look in their eyes, know exactly what they're thinking,
Mm-hmm.
and in a way, for me, it's like kind of looking in the mirror of my past self.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's just something that interests me. But yeah, it's like the first thing she said was like, and like, I mean, she doesn't know that I'm keeping up with what's happening. Not at the Kingdom
Mm-hmm.
Hall, but hey, like I know it's removed. I'm going to say this fellowship because it's the same thing. That word needs to stay alive, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Um, but wow, and like, so this person, I think too that like there's something in her where I don't know she's entirely with it,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think she realizes that she's not entirely with it.
Mm-hmm.
So like in my mind, just for this person, like, and she's made her husband too. If I were gonna go there, there's an aspect of me where she could see, and I'm not doing it for her. I'm just like curious, just thinking. It's like, wow, he came to the memorial. It's not a matter of whether he's going to come back or not, but
Mm-hmm.
he just kind of showed up as a regular person. Wow,
Mm-hmm.
you can actually do that,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
man.
I'll be very curious. If you go, I would love to get your thoughts about, what the experience was like and things of that nature. Um we have a few people in the chat. Let me just go back because I'm not sure if you able to see. Let's see. Um Let me go. Let's see.
Diabolically.
You can see.
Yeah.
So Hiller said XJW should not go to the memorial. The org is all about numbers. I don't think we should have any part in being added to the attendance for them to boost. And
And
that's
I get that.
that's valid, you know. Like
I
I
get
said,
it.
this discussion, what I envisioned was not you know, this versus that. It's just like I'm just curious the reasons why people wouldn't go, and things of that nature. So I totally get that
And
because
I understand what Healer
they
says. Yeah.
do, they do use that number. They be like like every time they talk about what the memorial attendance. I don't know if anybody's ever watched Leah Remedy Scientology, but when they have their like conventions or whatever, and they be making these announcements, be like 6 billion people, are gonna be touched by Scientology. Like that's how.
But you know what? Like, and I get the numbers thing, and yeah, diabolically is a real word. But I get it. But on one side, I don't care about the numbers. I
Yeah.
really don't. It like
Mhm.
whatever. But
Yeah.
the other thing to look at it, and I think is worth thinking of, is if you're an active witness and you go to your Kingdom Hall and see that it's like a quarter of the way full as it used to be, and you find your
Mm.
friends in the same circuit, and it's like nobody's at the circuit assembly, or you find your friend
Mm.
across in a different country, and it's the same thing.
Yeah.
There has to be an aspect, even if that's the official number, even if that's the official number.
Yeah.
If you're starting to piece things together or ask questions, there has to be a part of you that says, okay, this number is such and such million,
Yeah.
but I'm not seeing it with my own two eyes in real life.
Yeah. On a weekly basis. That's a good
Yeah.
point. So uh, Ray's one of the real ones. For those who don't know Ray or not familiar with Ray, me and Ray did a video here on the channel. So Ray used to be a part of a church called House of Jacob, Supreme House of Jacob. Correct me, Ray. But Ray, there's a lot of similarities between the House of Jacob and JWs, and that's how me and Ray connected. Ray also did a video with Lady C, I think on her Hidden Struggles channel. So y'all be sure to check Ray out if you're curious. So Ray said Jeff should satisfy his curiosity. It'll expand his perspective even more now. So yeah. And then the desert. I'm so sorry. I cannot like decipher everything you're trying to say. So I'm not ignoring you. I just can't really decipher it. And then you saw what Leo said. Yeah. So okay, it's the Supreme Council of the House of Jacob. Okay, I couldn't remember that C for nothing. Um so yeah, so here in the chat, some people for it, some people not, some people, like for some people they didn't even give it all this thought, like they just feel like, oh, I just went, to appease granny or my parents or whatever, and I just went on with my life. Um but I don't know, I find myself looking at things very differently these days with everything going on in the world and this and that. I'm just real kind of cautious of where I spend my mental power, physical, my time. Gas is high. So I ain't, but yeah. And then I think they might have finally caught the message because I ain't getting out one text, but we'll see. I think if Esty is still here, I will see if I end up getting a late text tomorrow saying I can join on Zoom or some bull crap like that.
Now,
But
part of me is thinking too, like, there's obviously some clear differences, but what would it be like if somebody invited you to a synagogue? And you decided to go. What would it be like if somebody invited you to the mosque? You're not Jewish. I mean, I would assume you're not Muslim.
mm-hmm.
But if you went just to kind of see what they do,
Yes. Yes. Now, and that's how I got caught up in the JWs. So
Oh,
yes,
okay.
curiosity, curiosity, being open, and things like that. So like, I'm not saying that I wouldn't go, but it's like
Hmm.
now my antennas is so in tune
Yeah.
that nope, I don't want to study. Nope, I ain't coming back. Like even my in-laws, it seemed like it was a million years. They would ask me and my husband, we go over there, when y'all gonna come to church? When y'all gonna come to church? And so I told my husband, I said, we need to, your daddy asks us this every time we come. I said, we need to go, kind of, kind of like what people have said they have done, just so that he can be like, we came to church, because we like the heathens. Like my husband's older brother, like he's he plays the instruments in church, and they go to church every Sunday, and we the heathens over here because we don't go to church every Sunday. So, but when I say it made his day, but even sitting in that church, I told my husband, we got in the car, I said, I feel triggered. I feel triggered when they said this, that, and the third. I felt triggered
Yeah.
when they said da 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 da. So I think right now I'm so, I guess, sensitive to religious talk. I can
Okay.
sit and talk about spiritual, I could talk about self-development, self-improvement. But when you start with all that religious, I get shut down.
Yeah, but see,
So
like as you said that, I was thinking with myself. When you're talking about how you got roped in, like I'm at a space in my life where I'm not emotionally vulnerable. I'm not, I'm not in a space where I feel like I can be exploited, like how they draw people in.
mhm.
I think it'd be very different if I were in that space where I'm flustered or going through some things and whatever. I'm not in that space now.
And that's an excellent point. That is an excellent point. And I didn't write that on my notes, but that is an excellent point. How are you, what is your mindset going in? Like, are you clear? And things like that. Like people who identify as XJWs. Because yeah, if you going in maybe a low moment or this, or just thinking about everything going on in the world, they say one little thing, you like, let me come back. Because we've heard it
Mhm.
all before where people be like, they could have been gone 10, 15 years. Somebody die in the family, they go to the memorial. Next thing you know, they back studying. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But that is a very good point. Like, kind of where, I guess, do a check-in with yourself, like before going, so that you don't get sucked back into it. But like you said, now the memorial, that's probably not a good um what's that, like a good visual in regards to what's the true state of this current organization. But if you go back, and maybe not even what they do, what the special talk they used to call it, that might not even be a good one. But yeah, what about,
But you
you
know
know,
what? I think it would be like if you were like with me being born in, you're intimately familiar with the culture. You know what it looks like. When people say certain things or use certain words or do certain things, you know exactly what
mm-hmm,
you're looking at. So with that, I mean that doesn't, the it might look different on the surface, but underneath it, you know exactly what it is.
mm-hmm,
You especially as somebody who did wake up, you know what it looks like if somebody's questioning. You can look at them and think, okay, this person's got something going on underneath,
mm-hmm.
and that's not going to change at the memorial or at any other meeting.
Yeah, that's true. Hey Terry. Yeah, it's I don't know, it's
840.
that's crazy. They should have rented a separate but they probably ain't got no money. I know sometime the hall I went to, it was I think it was technically three congregations. So you would have two congregations meet on Sunday, and one on Saturday, and then they rotate.
Hmm.
So I think whichever that third congregation that got put over there, I think they would be the ones that would have to like rent out a space to do it, right? So that they could do the two, kind of decent times for. But then I guess they must have said that's not fair. Why we always got to go out? So then it became like a rotation. So, but money probably tight. They probably can't go get no extra one. So they like we gonna
Is
start at 8:40.
hey, this is a random side question for Cedric. Is Cedric Haitian or French?
I'm not sure. He'll
It's
have to let us know.
yeah, no,
Hey,
yeah.
Lady Tina. Okay, Tina has a question. Do you feel that you don't trust your judgment regarding religion now since you got caught up with the JWs? Is this for me and Jeff in the chat, Tina? Thanks, Terry. I've been MIA a little bit. I'm glad you was able to catch it. Appreciate you. Cedric said there's a big difference between religion and spirituality. I definitely agree there. Oh, okay. Uh, Desert. You say, I finally understand what you're saying. You say we entered hell in 1935. Okay. Hi, Queen. Okay. That question is for everybody in the chat, me, Jeff, or what have you. So let me read this again. Tina asks, and for those who don't know, um, Tina is not an exJW, but she has knowledge of JWs. Um, do you feel that you don't trust your judgment regarding religion now since you got caught up with the JWs? I don't know if it's not my judgment. I think where I am at when it comes to religion, Tina, is where I was as a young person, like late teens, early 20s. I used to, because I got exposed to different religions, I could see the good or positive in being Baptist. I could see, things that I liked from my Catholic school and my Catholic family exposure. We used to go listen to Farrakhan, and I, used to get nuggets there. So
Did you
I
get bean
think
pies?
no. And I'm gonna tell you something. I got a little story. Um, uh, Minister, don't come get me. I'll tell you the last time we went to hear Farrakhan. I used to say I would call it the final call, but that's not where we was going. I used to be like, we going to the final call tonight. And so me and my grandma went. He, I say preached, he preached or whatever, and they were selling ground beef pizzas. Now this was before ground beef as a topping was popular, at least here in Chicago. So it was a Friday. My grandma said we ain't gotta, she ain't gonna cook, she gonna get one. They took forever to get us them pieces. Like he had done preaching, this, and that. My grandma was like, my grandma would cuss. She was a woman from Louisiana. She cussed. She went and got her $20, and she said, "I ain't dealing with this, sugar honey iced tea no more." So she just would buy the papers, but she was like, "I ain't going in there no more," because they took forever with the ground beef pizza. But so that's how I was. I would just be like, okay, and so not knowing and this, and that, then I got exposed to the JWs, and it seemed like the way my A type personality was, the start on time, end on time, everything kind of do. It was like, oh, this seems so kind of together, and this and that, and it's just like that. But I'm not opposed, but when I feel like it's a difference in religious spiel versus, I guess, soul work. I don't know how else to say it. So I don't, currently who I am now, I'm not put off by religion, but I am triggered or feel a type of way when I feel like somebody's trying to browbeat me with their religion, you know,
Yeah.
or judge me with it. Like with you, Tina, you will say how you feel, I respect it. I say how I feel, you respect it, and we've been rocking ever since you discovered the channel. And that's how I am. Like I still could be friends with people who I thought were my genuine friends, that's JWs. Just don't, accept when I say this, that it's okay, kind of thing. So I don't know if that answered the question, Tina, but I hope I did.
Like to me, my answer, for one, like you said, like people try to beat their beliefs, beat you over the head with their beliefs. There's somebody I deal with that too,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't have much tolerance for that. But
Mm-hmm.
also, to me, with my experience, I'm very, very sensitive to religious hypocrisy,
Mm-hmm.
and that's any religion.
Mm-hmm.
If you profess a certain belief, whether I agree with it or not, if I can get a sense that you're living by whatever it is you think, then I can respect that.
Yes.
But I have a sensitivity toward hypocrisy.
There you go. That was well said. Um, Cedric said he's from Trinidad. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, let's see. Leo said, breaking news, my older sister just texted me. I don't know if I can read the rest of this because I feel like Leo to say something crazy. Breaking news, my older sister just texted me. When the text came up, it just showed her saying hi and how everything was going. I opened the text and there's a whole dissertation about the memorial. Oh Lord. All right, let's see. Terry said, um, I've sat in a Kingdom Hall with a girl I used to date, and they would speak to her because she had a baby. I'm assuming he meant to say wouldn't. Used to date, and they would speak to her because she had a baby out of wedlock. I knew then something wasn't right. That's not of God. Yep. Yep. Okay. Third generation. Um, I only have the perspective of a person whose family are witnesses. My grandma was my babysitter, so I ended up doing a lot of JW activities until I was able to get a key and go straight home after. I totally get it. It's a lot of people who grew up like that. Let's see. Shah Gemini said, I did study as a kid when honestly I feel like my mom should have stepped in and stopped it. Yeah, but if Granny was, babysitting, she just went along. Yeah. All right, Tina, go eat dinner.
I may have to
Thanks
get
for
going
coming
soon
back.
too.
Yeah, I'm about to get on off too. We went longer than I expected. We had a good conversation.
Yeah.
What did she say, Leo? Leo said, should he respond? Is she basically saying, like, these are the reasons why you should come to the memorial? She giving you a history lesson. Yeah. So this was good, y'all. I think it's better than if I had tried to do long form. Um my brother being nosy, letting me know he in the live. He's so he's so silly. They be in the bushes. My mama, my brother be sitting in the bushes. I'm like, oh, y'all, before y'all leave, make sure y'all like the live. I appreciate it. But this was a good conversation. Thank you so much, Jeff, for
Yeah.
coming up and having a discussion, sharing your thoughts. Like I said, this live was only for us to have a discussion. It's no judgment as to why or why not you may decide to go to the memorial or not go. Like I said, for everybody is different. Let's see. Leo said, "You already know. I know everything she knows." You know what I would do? I would just say, "Okay."
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I would just send
Okay,
a
thank
thumbs
you.
up.
Thumbs up, right? Thumbs up. Okay. Like when I get that kind of stuff, I just be like, gone
Either
somewhere.
that or deuces.
Good seeing you too, Terry. Um, but yeah, this was a good discussion. You know, I know my Facebook, I got maybe 6 or 7 people who still go to the hall that, remain my friends on Facebook. I'm sure I'm gonna see all the new outfits in the Olive Garden, pics, and things of that nature. But yeah, Jeff, thanks for coming up. I'm just gonna hang
Yeah,
out a few more minutes if people just so I can read the chat.
yeah. But I
Um,
gotta get
and
going, so
if you go, you have to come back and tell us about it.
yeah, I'll let you know.
Okay. Take care.
Yeah, it was nice seeing you.
Yep, you too.
All right.
Um, let's see. Shah Gemini said, hate I missed the beginning, we'll catch replay. Oh, appreciate it for sure. Um, yep, there you go, Leo. Hey, positive. Long time no see. Hey T, the JW governing body says Jesus came in 1914. So why do they continue to have the memorial of Jesus? Great question. That is a great question. Well, they said no. Well, I think they say he took his rightful place, like in the kingdom. He didn't necessarily come yet, but so that's how it go. But hey, Hartley. But this was good, y'all. Um, it's like I say, this not a this a no judgment zone. I believe in letting people do what bring them comfort. And I just was just curious. It's definitely a decision you have to make because at the end of the day, we the ones who gotta live with it, right? If we go and that give family or friends or whoever hope. But I tell you this, if you don't already know these people and you go, like if you go out of curiosity or whatever, don't give them your number and your info. Just tell them you came for this one event and that's it, because they will keep trying to follow up with you. Right, they said. Okay, so Leo, you saying what positive said is correct, that he came invisibly in 1914. I thought they said that's when he like took his rightful place on the throne. Don't get me started, y'all. I don't be remembering none of the stuff. Shah Gemini said I went Sunday as my dad's guest. Oh, they had the special talk already. Okay, I had no clue what he was talking about. Oh, your dad gave the talk. Okay, he was the speaker. He gave the talk, and they probably bombarded you with so much love bombing, so much love bombing. Lord have mercy. I be like, when I tell you, I don't be remembering nothing. I never really got caught up in like the dates and things of that nature. That's why I think sometimes, everything ain't for everybody. Like I look at, I like looking at different content, in this genre of XJW world. And when these people be breaking down the scriptures and knowing all this stuff and the dates and this stuff, I'm like, I never was into that. So I don't be remembering. Let's see. Oh, the speaker. Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah, I think Jeff clocked on out. Yup, Hartley. That's exactly what it is. They love bomb you till they get you hooked in. and then you just a regular degular, and then they gonna judge the dog snot out of you. Yep. Hey, born. You ain't going. I bet it was overwhelming and overstimulating. Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right, Leo. Yep. Yep. Absolutely, y'all. Absolutely. Not necessarily, Ray. Um, Hartley's not one. Um, Lady Tina's not one. Terry is not Terry, he might be gone now. Terry's not one. Who else was in here? Um no, y'all know my channel kind of eclectic. I've met people like Hartley. I met her um through another YouTuber who found me because of the Sister Lock videos, but then she started watching the JW videos. And then that's how I met Hartley. I love YouTube. I was saying earlier, one of my wins is that, as bittersweet as it is, I've decided to put a pin. I'm not saying done forever, but done probably, but there's a good chance I could be done forever. Not doing sister locks anymore because I'm picking up a contract, a MP contract. So between the contract, my clinic, continuing to grow that back up where it was, doing YouTube. I enjoy doing YouTube. I enjoy coming here and talking to y'all, making the content about things that, I'm passionate about. I was like, I am going for a balanced plate, not a full plate. I done the full plate. It's time to retire full plates, balanced plate. So saying all that, like, because of the channel, I've met some amazing people. And so when I say real ones, y'all know who I'm talking about. Like the people who rock with me. Like I was saying, Tina, she gone. She said she had to go eat. But Tina, not a JW. Tina, matter of fact, I think she's a first lady of her church. And Tina's a member of the channel. She, she say how she feel. She ain't never said, hey, you need to come back to Christ. Like she ain't never said nothing like that. And that's why I got love for her. um so that's the beauty of this channel. So even though a good, like you, Ray, you're not a former exJW, but the similarities, you end up drawing yourself, to one another. So that I do like that, it is diverse, um, and things of that nature. But I knew tonight would probably be heavy XJW just because of the topic. Um, let's see. I feel like I missed something. Um, I did not know that, Hartley. I did not know that you knew. And I'm sure you didn't probably said it before, but for whatever reason, it ain't even standing out. Um, you think so, Esty? What they gonna say? He never took the throne. Lord have mercy. I knew I said I was gonna get off, but since y'all still here, now that Esty said that, I was watching, and I don't know if I talked about this. If I did already, then just tell me I already talked about this. I was watching JW Thoughts, Wally, and he made a good point. He made a good point. This was because he ended up doing like maybe 3 videos about the blood because it bothered him. It bothered me too, but I just didn't have the time to do additional thoughts. So he did the initial, like, oh my God. Then he did one where he was saying this update with all the other updates, that this is really more of a rebranding or a pivot for them, that it ain't got nothing to do with what we think, because there people are not going to leave. We had somebody, I don't remember who it was, somebody who said uh after they made that blood update, they I think, I can't remember who it was. They said they would go to the memorial, but after the blood update, they like, I'm done. I'm not going. I'm done with them. I'm not going to the memorial. But yeah, a lot of people not gonna leave. A lot of people just, they not gonna leave. They could say whatever. They could say whatever. They could come and say on the update, we lied, it was all a scam. We don't know what's gonna happen when you close your eyes. We don't know. People gonna stay, and that's fine. So what Wally was saying, I believe that it's a it might be, the bigger plan is that it's a rebranding to just make them more mainstream, like, just like a regular church, you know. Um, you know, I guess to be normalized with, Lutheran or Methodist or Baptist or Catholic or whatever. I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see. But I'll tell you this, after this blood doctrine, I ain't going to be shocked with nothing. After this blood doctrine, I will not be shocked by anything. So Wally might have a point. This may be part of a bigger rebranding to try to normalize, and kind of, be like other Christian uh religions. Let's see. So we shall see, Esty. Okay, Ray said, I was just curious. I wish I could get more of the ex Supreme Council House of Jacob people to come out. I know. You gotta let me know. Sometimes I don't get notifications. So I need to go over there and check and see if y'all did a panel. Because I definitely enjoy when you do the panel. Um, okay, Esty was saying how long she been out. Joe and Fran aren't going to do live chats anymore. Oh, why not? Why not? I believe. Okay, Leo saying he believed what Esty said. Hartley said, I enjoy hearing about your experience in it, and I just love hanging out with you, T. I love you too, Hartley. I've been, y'all, between my mama and her surgery, going to Indiana, trying to make sure she good. And then even when I got back, I had to do all this training and all this stuff. Matter of fact, when I get off tonight, I'm gonna finish it tonight. I got until the 13th, but I'm like, I want to get this over with because I need to finish my bookkeeping. Don't be like me. If you're an entrepreneur, don't be like me. I'll be putting it off, and now I'm looking crazy. My CPA might not even take my stuff because I believe the cutoff is yesterday. So if she don't, I'm just gonna, me and my husband gonna have to turbo tax it, I guess. It's always something, y'all. Oh yeah, Ray. Some of the stuff. Yeah, y'all go check out Ray channel. He's done a couple of like uh Zoom panels where they're all talking about like their experience when they was in the house of Jacob, and the terminology is different, and they have some different, obviously some different aspects, but it's interesting. um okay, Hartley said, I have a very good friend who is a JW, but she does not act like those born into it. Okay, was she born into it though, Hartley, or did she convert? Esty said, I was an adult convert in it for 16 years. Yep. Born said, as long as they protect their money, They can regroup later, start a new religion, the next one. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They gotta, I feel like it's multi-layer. I do believe what Wally said, that yes, that could definitely be part of it. Like we gotta do a rebranding, right? You gotta do some form of rebranding. Now the rebranding might be to, you know, normalize and not be like we're this so superior, Christian, the true Christian religion compared to all the other Christian religions. It could be to stop the bleeding with the lawsuits, right? Um, and also, yeah, like a reorganization, you know. Um, I still plan to do this video. I find it intriguing how they just slipped in there that like Bethel was no longer like a life career move. That's how it used to be presented. Now it's like, oh, it's just a temporary assignment. So that's it's given Mormon, right? Like with Mormons, I think the young people go do a mission, I think, for 2 years. And then when they come back, it's like they good, right? Like you did your mission, you get the stamp of approval. So it's crazy. But when you peg yourself as the perfect one true religion, there should be no changes. Perfection don't need to be changed, right? Um, only one is one of one. It ain't one or two, it's one of one. So let's see. I feel like I missed some points. Okay. Hold on, y'all. I think one of these dogs got sick. Hold on. Oh, you just being a crybaby. I I thought he was vomiting. Let's see, but how they try so hard to create this image that they are true religion. I'm curious what's next. Well, that's what I'm saying. I think they trying to soften up. Like this whole blood update, it was on the news. It was on like, regular mainstream news. Now, it was a quick blurb, nothing too crazy. It was just a quick blurb. But yeah, I think they're trying to, rebrand, soften their image a little bit. Born say they announced it just a few minutes ago. There will be one farewell chat room next Wednesday. I don't know why. Joe just said, "Time to move on." Both of them choked up at times. I'm sad. Oh, so do I? Are they saying move on from that kind of content or what? I can see it's people when I discovered the exJW space and they stopped. I don't know if they ever went and did other channels, but they was just like, I'm done. I ain't gonna say always, you shouldn't use words like that. I can envision that there's gonna always be something that'll trigger me to say, hey, I need to do a video about this. But if y'all notice, for every like JW video, I'm doing a video about something else. Yeah. I couldn't just do exclusive JW. I could see how people can get burnt out. Like I feel like that's how I feel sometimes with Wally. Um I know Isaac, he had him and his wife just had a baby, but at one time he was like, yeah, I think I'm gonna retire. But this whole blood thing, they got him fired back up, so he's back doing videos. But yeah, I think it's hard to, that's why I could never just talk about one thing all day every day. I just couldn't. Okay, she's a convert. Yeah, that, I think that makes a difference, Hartley, because I can't tell you how many people when they did find out I was a JW, they would be like, "You ain't like the Jehovah's Witnesses I know," and I think it's because I wasn't born in, you know. All right, let's see. Yeah, born for sure. Okay, Hartley. So the blood change is, um, for years, Jehovah Witnesses did not believe in blood transfusions, and so what they have now said is that it's a conscious matter if a Jehovah Witness wants to basically donate their blood to themselves. So that means like if they know they're going to have like a surgery, some type of medical procedure, they can basically have their blood stored, but and then transfuse back to them, you know, if needed. But it's a ton of issues with that. You know, blood has a certain shelf life. So what about if they have an emergency or, you know, just an accident? Most insurance I do not think will pay for that. So it could cost, when I did research, it could cost you anywhere from maybe $75 to like thousands of dollars, you know. Because a blood bank, you know, they ain't got time to keep your blood separate. You know, it's just it's a mess. So that was a big thing because people have loved ones who have died because they refused blood transfusions. You know, so that's the big blood change. Okay, I'm behind. Born had already answered that. Yes, it is. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot going live like religiously. Oh, that'd be nice. I didn't know that they, so I don't typically go live. What is today? On Wednesday. I usually go either Thursday or Sunday. Sunday has seemed like the better fit for most people. Um but I wanted to go live today because the memorial is tomorrow and I did want to talk about this prior to tomorrow. But hey, I'd be happy to have the people over here. We have a good time. Now, you know, sometimes we talk about JW things, sometimes we talk about hot topics, but we still have a good time over here. Leo said, why my sister done gave me the time and Zoom link for the hall where I am, and she's way. I guess your dad must have called and said your brother your brother said he ain't coming. Let's see. Shot said my granny definitely tried to get me to stop my brother from getting blood transfusions due to sickle cell. Oh we and that unfortunately he passed, but I feel his fate would have been sooner if he had not got them. Yes, yes, yes. And that's why I was messed up. I was looking at other people's videos. They were bringing out some extra points. And I just thought about all the people who 1 pint, 2 pints could have made the difference of them, you know, living and they not here. And then when did they make that announcement, y'all? I can't remember. I think it was on a Friday. So what about the people who refused Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday and didn't make it? You know? And then like they say, they never will apologize. There's no need to apologize. You friends got it wrong. It's like it's the gaslighting for me. Gaslighting. Super hypocrisy. I think Jeff said that earlier, and I was like, that's so well said. I know people, they go to church every Sunday. They like to, you know, try to beat you over the head with the Bible. And when I say they are some of the most humdingers out here, they so full of crap, but they try to act like they're somehow better than you know? And I want to do a video. I thought about this other day. In my opinion, I think it's a difference, especially in this day and age that we live. It is a difference between a person who is a Christian and a person who follows Christ. Because there's a lot of people out here who are Christian, but they have no Christ-like characteristics. They don't care about the hungry being fed. They don't care about the homeless having a home. They don't care about the sick, right? The- all the things that Christ Jesus displayed in the Bible, if you believe in the Bible, these people who are like, you know, busting open their shirt with Christian across their chest, but they are not Christ like at all. You know, not Christ like at all. So yeah, I definitely plan to do that video one day. Okay. He lived to almost be 50. Well, my condolences. And I agree. Had he not, he probably wouldn't have made it as long as he did. It's a blood condition, you know? It's a blood condition. So it's just yeah, it's so sad. Um, but I know some of y'all on the East Coast, it's almost 10 o'clock. And I done been on here running my mouth for over an hour and 40 minutes. Let's see. Born said Watchtower hiding all that money in the Ireland. Oh, they got money. One thing about billionaire people, billionaire organizations, it ain't that they running out of money per se. It's just that when you that kind of rich, they don't want to be this kind of rich. You see? They don't want what they doing to be impacted. You know, they cutting their liabilities, cutting their liabilities. That's why they, no longer toting Bethel, as a lifelong career move. It's crazy. But y'all, I'm gonna get on off this phone. I mean, this phone. Listen to me. I definitely need to go. I didn't got sleepy. I'm gonna get on off this live. Be sure to like the live for y'all go. I appreciate y'all. This was a great discussion. If you do decide to go or you do decide to jump on Zoom, um, I probably won't go live Sunday. I know some people, do celebrate Easter and things of that nature. Maybe I might take a poll to see. But our next live, if you could come by and let us know how it was, we would love that. But I hope to get some new content up. This is a new month for us, April 1st. This is my new year. I've said this before. A few years ago, I realized that I didn't really hit my stride until April. So for me, April 1st is my new year. So this is the beginning of the new year for me. So I'm hoping that the next 90 days I can really lock in and get some stuff done. Good to see you too, Born. Appreciate you coming through. Leo, it has been a blast having you here the entire time. Um, you got to let me know what you end up deciding to do. If you jump on Zoom tomorrow, you got to come back and report. Have a good night, Shy Gemini, and everybody else that's in the chat. I'm sure it's a way that I probably could see who in the chat. I don't know. Y'all know I be. See you later, Esty. All right. Good night, Ray. Glad you was able to make it. Yep. All right, y'all. Y'all have a good evening. Rest of y'all week. And I'm gonna try to get back on top. I gotta get these taxes turned over. And what else I gotta do? Finish these trainings. And then I should be back on track. But y'all have a good night. Peace.